After a long winter of waiting, we are finally here in 2021, and finally we have a brand new series to bring to you, to your screens. Well, not brand new, but it's returning to ESPN. This is Daytona, the world center of racing, and this is the Duels for the iRacing East Cup Series. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett here, and thank you very much for making us a part of your evening here on ESPN on your Monday night. And joining me in the booth here is a man that's become very synonymous to everybody on your screens lately, Mr. Frank Marchese. Frank, iRacing East is back, but in a different way.
It certainly is. It's nice to see the rebrand of the iRacing East series. We saw it last on Friday night when they announced it. The Rowdy Energy Cup Series. This is going to be a fantastic season. We had the series on the network last year, about halfway through the year. They're back with us. We cannot wait for this season to start.
Absolutely, and we kick things off in 2021 with a bit of a different, well, the usual format we see in real life is the Duels, and this is their version of it. And Frank, why don't you just give us a quick rundown of what we have to come here tonight?
All right, so what we're going to have here tonight is it is going to be a little bit different from what we're used to seeing here on these series. If you just look at your phone really quick, Sam. We have the 30-minute practice session, which is about to come to a close right now. There's going to be an open qualifying session, and that qualifying session, it's going to be single car, so you'll get a good look at all of the drivers that are going to be participating in tonight's race. After that, you will have 2 dual races, just as you would in real life. The inside of the people who start on odd number or qualify on odd number positions will go in the first duel. Outside will go in the second duel. The front row will be set for Daytona next Monday night. And then after the 2 duels are set, then we're going to go into a different session. We're going to run a 40-lap clash, all of which will be brought to you right here on ESPN.
Yeah, and we are very excited to have this league on board, or this series on board regardless. And yeah, I'm working on my game right now. I don't know what is going on with my microphone. And yeah, it's we've got cup action. We've got 38 races starting from tonight, and it's going to be very exciting to see how they handle things, not just on super speedways, but on all manners of courses. We have road courses, we have short courses, we have the usual troublesome cookie cutters, and of course we have the super speedways here with this series. So a lot more variety to look forward to in this one.
Yeah, certainly is. And we've seen on Friday nights with the now newly minted Circle B diecast Super Speedway Series, we've already seen a month's worth of races out of these guys. They've been to Daytona twice. They were just here on Friday night in the Xfinity cars, so it's the Super Speedway races we're not really concerned about. We know what we're going to be getting out of these Super Speedway races. It's going to be the ovals. It's going to be the road courses and the short tracks that we're really going to be looking at. And speaking of the road courses, we have a lot of them this year, including one coming up in 2 weeks, the second race of the season.
Absolutely, as qualifying is about to get underway here at Daytona. And yeah, the road courses, it's going to be very different. They're going to a whole plethora of road courses this season. Road America, COTA, the usual ones, Watkins Glen, the Roval. Obviously, they're going to the Daytona road course as well. This is a whole variety of different road courses that you're going to see in this season. Road America is one that really intrigues me here, Frank. That's one that the Xfinity Series has gone to in the past, but never the Cup cars.
No, and a part of that also is they had one great race in the Xfinity Series last year at the Indianapolis road course. So they're not going to be running a Brickyard 400. They're going to be running at the Indianapolis road courses. These guys follow the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. They run the day after the Cup Series does, so they'll be following on wherever real life NASCAR is on Sunday. They're going to be there. These guys are going to be there on Monday night.
So a quick rundown of the schedule on ESPN before we get started with the qualifying session in earnest. Coming up tomorrow night, you'll have me in the booth for Western States as they head to North Wilkesboro, and this is a bit of an anniversary for us because last time they were at North Wilkesboro, that's when we started with the league.
Yep,
so
you and me.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was Very pixelated adventure. I remember that one very well. Sim Racers Edge is coming up on Wednesday night. They are going to Kentucky for the second round of the season. I'll be in the race control booth, but you can catch Frank in the broadcast booth for that one. Hopefully he's got some company on Wednesday. I'll try and find some anyway. USRA back on Thursday as they head to Nashville. Now, a bit of an interesting thing there as Chris Cup went there recently, and Frank, you had the call for that race. And how do you reckon these guys are going to handle that one in that league compared to Chris Cup?
It was an interesting dynamic in Chris Cup, as the reason we're not seeing anyone on track right now. They're trying to figure out which order these guys are going to go in to qualify. Chris Cup, Nashville is a very, very slick track, and these cars are very, very powerful. So when you add that to a slick racetrack, it makes it very, very difficult to get around and put the power down. I think we're going to see a lot of accidents early as drivers start to try to get used to the track, and then after that, probably going to start to file out just the same way it did for Chris Cup. As I think we don't. Thought we had our first driver going. But
they like to keep us guessing in this league, I swear. They love
yes,
us.
they do.
They love us, but they hate us at the same time. Anyway, also coming up on the 11th, on February 11th, we have the DOB 410 Sprint Series, the third round coming from Lernerville. Now, 2 exciting rounds already. I'm not sure if you've been keeping tabs on that dirt series there, Frank, but some exciting racing coming from those guys in the 410 sprint cars.
Yeah, the USRA races have been over like right around the time you guys are starting or a couple laps into the feature. So I've been keeping an eye on and watching. It's been 2 great races, incredible races this season. I can't wait to see what they could do at Lernerville, especially with that steep drop off if you get a little too far wide in the corners.
Yeah, and it's been the same guy that's won the first 2 races. Can he make it a hat-trick this Thursday? Make sure you check in and find out when they go there this coming Thursday. Then, obviously, it's not on the list, but we're going to mention it anyway. Friday, we're back with the iRacing E-Series as they continue the Circle B Diecast's Sprint Super Speedway Series. And Frank and Nate will be on the call for that one. Still waiting for drivers to make their way out on pit road here to see who is going to get the pole position for these dual races that are coming up. We're already 5 minutes into the qualifying session. What are we expecting from this qualifying session here, Frank?
It's 1 lap, just the same way you would see in the Super Speedway Series. So you only get 1 lap around here. As we're seeing some form of movement down there is the 86 of Christian Vasquez. He's decided to return to his pit. You're going to want to, especially through 3 and 4, try to take that high line and then get right down to the bottom immediately. You're going to really need to have a quick time. You've got to be really smooth down on the apron, down on this lap, because again, you only get 1 here.
That you do, and some messages in the chat right now. We've got Ernie Ludwig in the chat going, go Mark McFadden, go ESPN, and SMW Somatosa says, welcome back, Sam, and it's good to be back, I will be honest. Obviously, I've not been broadcasting as much lately, and that's because I had coronavirus last month, admittedly, and that kind of knocked me back a bit, as well as other things. But I've only been sticking to 1 broadcast, but I'll be back more often as the weeks and months come along, and looking forward to, obviously, tomorrow. I'm here all season with the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. Then tomorrow I'll be just filling in for Frank there with the Western States League, and I'll be there for majors as well. So I won't be gone too far.
Yeah, no, this is the first time we've done a race together since just prior to the Thanksgiving holiday, and this race here is kind of, it really marks the return of sim racing. A lot of seasons are going to be starting up right now. The NASCAR season is starting up right now. Towards the end of March, Formula One's going to be starting up again. So this is our time. We're starting to get back into our normal everyday routine There are a couple holidays here and there that are going to mess it up, but this is really the start of the ESPN season to where we are going to be here again on a normal basis.
Absolutely, and we are looking forward to everything that comes our way this year. Obviously, not as with the new leagues coming in, obviously iRacing E-Series expanding to 2 nights a week. Another league expanding to 2 nights a week will be Sim Racers Edge, coming on March 6th. They will be bringing the Bravo series to the screens, driving the DW12s. That is going to be an interesting thing to see as they bring their feeder series on Saturday nights.
Yeah, this is the second year, just in the same as the Alpha series. This is the second year for the feeder series, the Bravo series, getting it broadcasted this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, and also kind of like make it like a Busch series or an Xfinity series, to where some of the guys you see on Saturday nights could get called up to drive on Wednesday nights as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It adds a completely different dynamic to the series. Yeah,
and they're driving the classic DW12 as well. It's the same as the IR18 in effect, but with a lot more aero on it. Yeah, it's the same car, just a lot chunkier, so to speak.
So I think Christian Vasquez is going to be the first driver to jump out on track here, and from what I can see, he's just waiting on his go order. Is essentially what's here.
And you see him right there in the 86. The reason why the 22 is glitching, by the way, is because right inside the 22 is the pace car. So, yeah, that looks a bit strange. Last time we were at Daytona, by the way, was the 24 Hours of Daytona. My car blew up, but our affiliate racing team, VSM Racing, we finished P6 in the other car. So, as Ryan Worley is actually showing us a driver that's on the move. And he is on the move. He's out on track right now.
Okay, so there we go. Ryan Worley, 00. There he is on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and is
coming to a stop, actually.
Yeah, he is. As that is the first driver out on track, and that is it only lasted half a lap.
Well, we had some action on track, at least.
There is another
Actually, no, he did. He set a time. Set a 47.612, so we missed. So there we go. We missed the first qualifying lap, and now Christian Vasquez is on track.
Yep, there he is. Yeah, we apologize for that one, but we are finally getting some action out on track right now. So Ryan Worley setting the benchmark here for the qualifying session. Here comes Christian Vasquez in the number 86, and let's see what he can do compared to the 00. As there you go, there's the time for Worley up on this. Gauthier goes up to the top. I didn't realize he was out on track right now either.
Yeah, we've apparently missed a couple as we were rambling through what our schedule was going to be over these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the qualifying mode up. That might make things a bit better as
it might help.
Yeah, as Vasquez is starting his qualifying run right now. So let's see what he can do as he comes through turns 1 and 2 right now on his one and only qualifying lap. So let's see if he can beat that time by the number 67.
He let that car float out, coming out of the corner, and that's a strategy that can work around here. Try to take the path of least resistance by letting the car float out a little bit. Might hurt him in time, though, as he comes into the tri-oval. And for Vasquez, it's going to be a 47.546, so I believe that puts him pole. It does,
and it puts him half a tenth faster than the 67 of Joe Gauthier. As we're looking for our next driver out on track right now, and don't really know.
Yeah, not seeing it just yet.
It's Ryan Broderick. I'm seeing Ryan Broderick out on track in the 06.
Yep, there he is in the 06. Slick-looking car. That's what Kyle Larson's going to be running this season, that National Guard number number 06 in this series.
Yeah, driving for Hendrick. That's going to be an interesting partnership right there.
It's one of those moves that you always felt was going to happen. You just didn't think it was going to happen the way it did. But it's kind of a move I expected, at least.
Well, Bowman moving to the 48, that was kind of necessary that the 88 was going to be retired anyway because of Dale Jr., So it was only natural with Larson getting his NASCAR license back again. He was going to be the one to take that spare seat. And I think he's got the 5, isn't he? No?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yep. It's Larson 5, Elliott 9, Byron 24, and then Bowman 48.
Yeah. So Ryan Broderick going 3rd. Now we're looking at Aaron Treble out on track. And let's see what he can do in the number 22. And he was the guy that was glitching in and out of the pace car on pit road a minute ago. The butt kicker number 22. Just coming out of turn 2. And that's a very nice looking Mustang, I will say.
Yep, and taking that same line that Christian took, floating it out, coming out of corner exit. In that number 22, had a great run during the super speedway race on Friday night in the Xfinity cars here. Led a vast majority of the race. Unfortunately, didn't come up with the win. But Trible's on a great run of form here lately as he comes across the line. It will be second quickest.
Yeah, it will be 47.582 for Aaron Tribble. Next up is Logan Jones in that number 23 machine, as he'll be looking to put in a good time. We've seen Logan Jones a few times in the Super Speedway Series, not as much. He's more of a part-time driver in that series, so it'd be interesting to see how he competes as a full-time driver with the Cup in Cup trim, as he starts his qualifying run right now. Yeah, Logan Jones on track right now, just starting his qualifying run.
Yep, and there are guys like me, honestly, that just don't like running the Cup, don't like running these super speedway races. So it could just be a case where he's more comfortable on the ovals, taking a very tight and very straight line around this racetrack. Still nobody within 400ths of Christian Vasquez.
Not at all, and Vasquez still holding true at the top of the table. Skylar Brown will be the next person to feature on our screens, as Logan Jones puts in a 47.694. That's good enough for 6th and last right now, as we go to Skylar Brown in the unmarked number 21 machine. Now, bright yellow, no sponsors.
No, and he's usually driving a Busch scheme on Friday night, so interesting to see him going with the flat yellow there. And I will say, I think I said something to Nate on this past Friday night. We've been calling him Skylar Brown. Finally got the confirmation. I was right. It is actually Skylar Brown, as I had joked. I think it was this past Friday.
Funny how I got it right first time, right?
Well, you know what? I go by what it looks like. And if there was a K in there, I would have called him Skylar.
Yeah. Funny story though, in the DOV 410 series, I keep calling somebody by their wrong name, so I keep saying it wrong. Dylan Scheibel. I've been for the past 2 weeks. I've been calling him Dylan Scheibel, so you know. So I apologise, Dylan, if you're watching. So, as we were watching that, Skylar Brown goes up to P6. Now we're waiting for the next driver to come out and track on.
Cedric Hunter's rolling off now.
Yeah, Greg McCurney is there. Cedric Hunter, yep, there he is in the 47. Hello Kitty machine.
Not really going to be able to miss that thing tonight now, are you?
I'm really not going to miss it now.
It's good to have you back in the booth. My God, so nice.
Nice brand of professionalism and comedy all at the same time. Anyway, Cedric Hunter in the Hello Kitty machine is just making his way into turn 3 now to start his qualifying run now. 47. Gonna be interesting to see what he can put down. Vasquez still holding that lead right now. We did know he flew under the radar there, and I didn't notice he put his time down, but Elijah Innes has put a time in. And he's gone to P7.
Oh, he has done as well.
Yeah. But we've got Jason Larrivee out on track as well, so we'll be going to him next. I should really be focusing on the notes, the record events. So
that might help.
Yeah, Jason Larrivee is out on track right now. We'll go to him in just a second once Cedric Hunter has finished his qualifying run as he comes out of turn 4, the Hello Kitty machine. Where he put it? Is it going to be a fast kitty or a slow kitty? We'll find out in just a second. And it's not going to be the fastest. He's going to put in a 47.601. He will get it to P5 though. So for the moment, we'll be starting inside the top 5. Let's go to Jason Larrivee.
Yep, Larrivee coming down onto the front straightaway to get his first lap started in that number 53. Seeing a lot of new names this season as compared to last season. We'll be seeing more of the familiar faces coming up a little bit later on in this session. There are, though, some familiar names, and we'll get to them a little bit later on, of drivers who we've seen in other series broadcasted here on ESPN that are in this series now, trying to build it up as much as we can.
Yeah, next driver to come for his qualifying lap. Well, I think it's either going to be Mark McFadden or Jason Papp. They haven't really decided who yet. It's saying on my screen it's going to be Mark McFadden, so we'll go to him in just a second as Larrivee comes through the tri-oval, goes below the yellow line. Now, this is going to make him faster. Is it? The answer is no, 47.608. He is set the exact same time as Ryan Worley, so that is, yeah, that's interesting.
Yes, it is. I'm showing different times, but it's, I mean, within 4 thousandths of a second we're looking at. It's still in the right spot, though.
Yeah. So that was Larrivee with his time. Let's go to Mark McFadden as he crosses the line to start his qualifying run. Now that's McFadden, a name that we know very well here on ESPN. Races mainly in his name more synonymous with Sim Racers Edge, but more recently with iRacing East.
Yeah, he's also, I believe, if I remember right, he's also a part of Western States tomorrow night. Yeah, he is. He ran he finished third 2 weeks ago in the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series. I'm just trying to get used to saying it after Friday night. Finished third at the iRacing Super Speedway, and then went right from that third place finish to run in the Western States Cup Series race right after that. So he has been a busy man, and again, we've highlighted it several times. Oldest driver in the series.
To the top. No, third place. Sorry.
Wow. Oh, okay, third.
Third. It said
straight.
Yeah.
But
it looked fast, but not that fast.
As I've mentioned several times, as Jason Papp now rolling, McFadden, oldest driver in the series at 73, and he is just 8 thousandths of a second off of the youngest driver in the series at 13 years old. So 13 represented in second position, 73 in third. That's incredible.
Absolutely. As we're looking at league owner Jason Papp making his way through turns 3 and 4 on his qualifying run. Brandon Wilson will be next in the 501, and who can forget the Prayers for Cam initiative that we were putting on for the end of the last season in the Super Speedway Series. We still support, and thoughts are still going to Cam and his family as Jason Papp straight to the top.
Great time for Papp. Gets him by a full 100th of a second. So Vasquez, who started this session really on the pole from there, finally dethroned.
Yeah, as we're looking at Brandon Wilson right now. And Brandon Wilson, very, very, very attractive colours on that car.
Looks almost like that 99 scheme that came out here recently. for the Cup Series. A beautiful scheme.
Looks
on
almost
that
like
501.
you know those colours on the front makes it almost look like the old Dodge that used to be in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Although the current Chevrolet does look a bit like a Dodge. But anyway, across the line comes Brandon Wilson, 651. Only good enough for P11 as we go to Mark Brown. Now that by Brandon Wilson's standards is a poor lap for him in the 501.
Yeah, certainly. He's not going to be happy with that. Was a race winner in the Super Speedway Series last season. Trying to get off to a great start here this season. But again, really anything can happen in these Super Speedway races. As Mark Brown coming out of turn 2 on his flyer, his son already having qualified in that 21 car.
That he has, as here comes Mark Brown in towards turn 3 in the 0, number 73. It's the Gatorade 0. I will make a confession. I've never tried Gatorade. We do have it over here, but I've never tried it.
Yeah, if you had Powerade.
Yeah, it's a bit bland.
It's a more sugary Powerade as Mark Brown goes right up to P4.
Great time for the 73 as we go to Landon Lacey. Now he's the next driver in the other Gatorade 0 Chevrolet in that number 35. So I'm guessing teammate to Mark Brown?
As far as I know, it's just Mark and his son.
Okay.
I know we have 3 Gatorade cars in the field tonight. I do know that.
As Lacey comes out of turn 2. And Lacey has been showing up several times to the Super Speedway Series, so it's going to be interesting to see how he can handle it with the Cup guys. As next driver to follow Landon Lacey will be Gene Cato in the number 08, and we know him from the Super Speedway Series, very synonymous with those guys.
Yep, absolutely. As Lacey comes out of turn 4 across the line, and Lacey will go to P3. What a lap from Landon Lacey.
Yeah, great time for him as we go to Gene Cato in the 08. Let's see what he can do. Landon Lacey, great time for him, 47.58. Literally 4/100ths of a second slower than Jason Papp. Jeff Price will be the next driver to come after Gene Cato, so we'll keep an eye on him in just a second.
He came off of turn 2 really low, almost completely on the apron. Down there was Gene Cato.
Might have lost him a bit of time, that one.
Yeah, might have done.
As Cato going to make his way out of turn 4 right now as the lights are slowly going down, so we will be racing under the lights here as Cato crosses the line and he will put in a 47.569. That's good enough for P3. Great time there by the 08 as we go to Jeff Price now in a I'm guessing that is a Richard Petty kind of throwback type thing, or
yeah, Petty Andretti STP more or less than over anything else.
Yeah, as there is Jeff Price just starting his qualifying run now. He's coming out of turn 2, the 39. Don't really know much about Jeff Price, but we'll get to know him as the season goes on. As Karl Halitzka will be the next one after Price. I'm glad I got that one right first time.
Price, we've seen him a couple of times in the Super Speedway Series. Hasn't been a fixture there like some of these other guys. Price coming off of turn 4 again, kind of letting it feed up a little bit. And Price will go P12. I don't have a P12 with a 611.
Karl Halitzka next in the number 69. Let's see what he can do as he comes down to the line to start his qualifying run. Now, Halitzka is a new name to the iRacing East Series for us anyway. And it's going to be interesting to see how he performs over the season. Remember, it's a full season, a full NASCAR length season for the Cup Series. 38 races in total, that is including the playoffs. So definitely something to look forward to. It's definitely a lot shorter than the Super Speedway series that we show on Friday nights with Frank and Nate. As Damon Goldsboro will be the next one to come out to start his qualifying run, as Halitska comes out of turn 4. And he will put in a 47.611, good enough for P12. So he displaces Jeff Price. Goldsboro will be the next one in the Haviland Express machine. Now, this is a very interesting paint scheme in the number 7.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it.
Takes that high line to start this first lap. We've gotten to this point now where we have less cars that have not qualified than cars that have. So we're more than halfway through this qualifying session here. As Goldsboro actually sounded, it might have just been my audio, sounded like he was off the pace, doing that same thing that Christian did, floating it up to the middle of the track. And again, the benefit to doing that, yes, you're making the track a little bit longer for yourself, but you're not turning the wheel as hard. You're not scrubbing off as much speed, trying to keep that car pinned as low as you can to the bottom by drifting it up. Yeah, you're running a little bit longer, but you're not scrubbing off as much speed, as he's going to take it right to the apron and go, was that P6 with a 587.
Now here's a name that we know very well from the Super Speedway series. This is Nick Kessler, out on track in the number 4. And a very fast driver in the Super Speedway series. And going to be interesting to see how he performs on the different dynamics of tracks that we show in this Cup series. At the moment, he's on terra firma with the Super Speedway, so should see some pretty decent things out of the number 4.
Yeah, certainly. He's one of those guys that's a threat for pole every single week on the Friday night series. So this is, if there's a guy that's going to get pole here, this is definitely one of the big bullets you have to dodge if you're Christian Vasquez right now to try to stay on that front row.
Yeah, as Nick Kessler goes fastest in the first sector here, this is going to be a good one if he can get it. He goes down to the apron right now. He was purple first time round, green second time round. Is that good enough for pole position?
Yes, it is.
It is. He goes purple, pole position for Nick Kessler as we go to Tony Ball. But great time there by Nick Kessler, and that's exactly what we were expecting from a man that's very synonymous on super speedways.
Yeah, he's won a vast majority of the pole awards last year towards the second half of the season. I believe he has one already on the Friday night series, so that was one of the guys that you're certainly looking for. And for those of you who have been watching ESPN for a while, this is another name that you should know, that you should be used to. Tony Ball dominated the WOSCRL throwback series that we had on the network during the summer. This is a guy who can cause a lot of trouble. Won a practice race, like kind of a get-together race with these guys last Monday night.
Yeah, and then let's see what he can do. He's fastest in the first sector again, so he might just steal the pole position away from Nick Kessler this time around as he comes to cross the line. And what's this one going to be? It will be second place, and that is very close between Kessler and Ball as we go to Adrian Moore in that awesome looking Michael Waltrip number 09. A great looking Toyota.
Yeah, Michael Waltrip Brewery.
I think so.
On that 09.
Michael Waltrip.
Hasn't had the greatest start to the Super Speedway series, but had a great start going. Was actually leading the points standings at one point during the Western States Racing League season.
Yeah, and he's become very well known on ESPN cameras, and he's going to be here in the Cup Series as well. So three times a week we're going to be seeing him, so better get used to it. Big thanks to Cody Smith in the chat saying great broadcast, guys. Very appreciative of your comments there, Cody. And shame you're not with us. Oh, he is in. He's in pit road waiting to come out. He's just bored and he's watching us instead.
Enjoying the broadcast while he sits and waits.
Absolutely, why not? As Adrian Moore comes to cross the line now, and 47.672, that's only good enough for P21 for the man in the 09, so not having the best of runs there, as we're waiting for the next driver to come out, I believe.
Next driver sitting on pit road is another newcomer to the series, Justin Gabehart, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen anybody out on track right now.
Yeah, maybe they're having a bit of a breather before they bring on the next one. Here comes Gabehart now as he spins the wheels coming out of pit road. That's a bit of a dramatic exit of pit road, isn't it?
Yeah, light those tires up. Why the hell not?
Absolutely. As Gabehart, a new name to the series, in the 05. And the man that just commented in the in the broadcast chat, he's the next one to come out of pit road. So Cody Smith will be next, and he did say something else. He's going to win the pole here in a bit.
Win whole. Yep, there it is. One pole, I believe he won pole on Friday night.
Yeah.
Right up against that wall is Gabehart coming to the line. My goodness, couldn't really fit much of anything between his car and the wall.
Well, that's about the standard line you take when you're coming out of pit road and you're going to start your line. You start your run. You start high, then as you work down towards the line, you go low, and that's when you start really going for it. And Gabehart really sticking to the middle at this point. Now going down low towards the yellow line as he comes through turns 1 and 2. Now let's see if he's going to stick to that yellow line. The best lap you can get is by sticking to that yellow line, and he's doing that so far. Just drifts up ever so slightly coming out of 2, though.
Yeah, he's kind of doing in between what we saw Vasquez and Ball do, is kind of sit like kind of straddling that low line and the middle line. But a nice solid run going here for Gabehart.
Yeah, and Jason Papp just commented in the broadcast and the YouTube chat saying Cody cheat. As Gabehart goes P14 in the number 05, so good time for him, good enough for P14 as we go to the man that's currently creating all the chaos in the chat right now, Mr. Cody Smith, just starting his qualifying run.
Only 6 drivers left to qualify here as Cody takes his time, and the Friday night the Diecast Super Speedway Series champion Brody Smith is on the lane next to qualify.
Yep, so the brothers Smith are out on track right now. The first one to cross the line and put his time in will be Cody. Then it will be Brody. So and then after Brody will be Zach Bowerman. So that's going to be an interesting name to watch now.
Certainly is. We're getting into the heavy hitters right now as far as this season goes. Guys that you're going to be expecting to be up towards the front all season long. Guys are going to be fighting for pole. Let's see what Cody has. P3 for Cody Smith.
Yeah, not quite pole position, is it, Cody? Sorry, I have to say that.
Oh, that was... Oh, no.
He knows I don't mean it.
Oh.
Anyway, Brody Smith starting his qualifying run right now as he comes through 1 and 2. Let's see if he can better his brother here as he comes out of 2 down towards the super stretch. And as Frank already mentioned, he is the reigning Super Speedway champion, so he knows a thing or two about winning on these kind of tracks. As he goes fastest in the first section, this is going to be a good one.
Yep, and I believe the fastest, I believe the current Super Speedway points leader, he is leading by 5 points over there on the Friday night series. So this is almost a perfect start for him, as I think at least Ball might have concerns here. And it's P1 for Brody, the only one to hit the 4s, a 4.88.
Absolutely, so great time there by Brody Smith, not showing any kind of remorse for his early season form in the Super Speedway Series, carrying it over into the Cup Series. As here is a man that is going to be right up there as well, Zach Bowerman. We know him very well from the Super Speedway Series, and he is always right up there in that one. He's tipped to be up there again this time around.
Yep, Daytona, USA, all over that thing.
Yep. I'm not going to sing it.
Please don't. I'm not going to either. Like I said, I had asked Nate if that's the automatic car in the arcade game, right?
Game over, yeah.
The manual's yellow.
Yeah. Game over, yeah. Anyway.
Oh, there we go. It's across the line here.
Bobby
P5.
Yeah, good time starting in the top 5 now as you go to a man that we spoke to just before the broadcast started, Mr. Greg McConey. And if Greg McConey did not have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all here, Frank.
But he certainly had a lot of great luck 2 weeks ago at the iRacing Super Speedway. Won that race by about the width of a fender. So a great finish if you guys haven't gone and seen it. But McConey here, certainly one of the heavy hitters, had a great run going this past Friday night before that misfortune and bad luck hit.
Yeah, as we've noticed, Ben Bando has put his time in somewhere, and we didn't see that one, so we apologise to Ben for not bringing him up here on the broadcast, but we'll have him in the race. We'll see him in the race anyway. So he did set the slowest time of all in P27 as McConey crosses the line. He will get P... nothing.
He hasn't said it. Wow.
Did he hit the wall somewhere?
I don't know.
Huh.
He doesn't look like he's slowing down. I'm not sure.
Now we're going to see if he's going to bring it in this time around. He is definitely slower this time around. So McConey,
I'm still seeing him clocked at 187.
Yeah, he was yellow in that first sector though. Oh, mind you, that's because that's going off his own time now, not the leader's time.
He's
bringing
it in.
So,
All right, so it's going to be either Duels or Trafari is on track right now.
Trafari not on track right now, I don't think. We're still waiting on Wing, Trafari, and Duera. Neither of them on track. I'm not seeing it on my records anyway.
Now Nicholas Wing. Okay, McConey did cross the line at a 55.9.
Wow. That was when he was coming into pit road, though. His first lap didn't get counted for some reason.
And I would have to assume that that Ben Bando's time was a kind of a chill time because he's the only driver in the 48s with a 48.2.
Yeah,
so I think Bando might have been let off a little bit.
Yeah, and we're getting confirmation in the chat right there. It was an iRacing glitch, didn't take his time at all. So maybe they should let him back out on track again just to try again. You know?
That.
Yeah.
I would say yes for fairness, but if I were a driver, I'd be a little hesitant on that one.
He's an admin; he can break the rules a little bit.
There it is.
So we're still waiting for Nicholas Wing, Conor Trafari, and Zishan Duera, and only 3 drivers left to take time in this one. Brody Smith, though, that time he put in there, and
set in.
They are letting Greg McConey back out again.
Oh well, there they go.
Hey, they do listen to the broadcasters. Thanks, guys.
Jason confirming it in the chat that they're allowing him to go again.
Yeah.
But Brody and Kessler, those guys are always on the front couple of rows for the Super Speedway Series races, so not really a surprise there. Between those two, Conor Trafari and Zishan Duera are still in the session. Nicholas Wing has had a couple of throughputs here.
Okay.
While this session has been up, and he has not returned from his most recent one yet, so Wing might not put in a qualifying time, so we may only have 2 drivers left.
Okay, so take 2 here for Greg McConey. Can he beat the iRacing glitch this time round and get that time in finally? His second attempt, and this is a rare occurrence here because they're only allowed 1 lap, but since his time was not counted for some unknown reason, he is allowed to go again as he comes down the super stretch now, Frank, and let's see if it actually counts his time this time.
I would have to think so. I mean, I couldn't imagine why that would not have come through.
And apparently after Greg, we're done qualifying, so...
Okay, so there we go.
So down through the trial comes Greg McConey. Let's see if he can finally get that lap in. And he does, and he goes second.
P2. Same time as Kessler at a 5:06.
Wow, so we are going to be done with qualifying at this point, and I reckon we should get a word in with our pole sitter, because he won't be in the duels because his position is secure for Daytona next week.
No, they still will be in the duels. It's just that Brody and Greg will be starting on pole for their duels.
Oh. Oh well, the format we have today anyway. We've had the qualifying, that is sorted, that is done. Next up will be the duels, and then we will have the clash. Now the clash is just a bit of fun for these guys, just to really knock off the rust basically from the last season. So we got to have these guys on board,
and got confirmation
interview
over here on my end.
Yeah,
I got confirmation over here on my end. Ben Bando, his lap, he said his brake was dragging on the warm-up lap, so he kind of just gave up on it.
Right, and before we go anyway, let's bring in Brody Smith, and Frank, I believe you have him with you right now.
I do. Brody Smith, P1 in qualifying, will be starting on the pole for the 500 coming up next Monday. What a lap.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This is 2 years in a row I've won the Daytona 500 pole, so, that's always cool. And, before the championship race in super speedway side, I started practicing qualifying here, and it's really paid off. But that was something new for me, waiting and watching everybody go, and it was a lot of fun.
What was it about that lap that you were able to get so much quicker? The only driver in the 47.4s.
I don't know. It's just I was real smooth, and I just knew what I was doing due to that practice for the championship race, and that's 3 poles I've won this year already. So we'll look to transfer that to the oval side, hopefully.
And I'm sure you have a great chance at it as we get set here to begin this dual race, sir. Good luck on this dual race here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get Cody a win here and start him up front as well.
All right, so that is your pole sitter for next Monday night, Brody Smith.
I don't mean to cut you off there, but it's actually the Daytona 250 next week, not the 500.
Well, no, I know it's not. I know it's not a full length. It's not a full length Daytona race.
I wish it was though. I wish it
no,
was.
Well, okay. Here, sir, you have called. You, sir, have called 2. I had a full race hit. I had a full length Indy 500 to call with Tony, and then I had a full length Pocono race season opener to call solo. And speaking of which, we are going to be calling a full length Daytona 500 coming up on the 21st.
That we are, as we have the majors Daytona 500 coming right up in the next couple of weeks, and you can catch me and Frank in the booth for that one. I will be there this time. I swear on my life, I'll be there this time. As we're looking quickly.
You had COVID last time. I can't really blame you for that.
Yeah, don't. As we're going to quickly scout through the grid before we start the first duel, Brody Smith, Nick Kessler, row 1, Cody Smith and Jason Papp, row 2, Gene Cato, Aaron Tribble, row 3, Mark Brown, Joe Gautier, row 4, row 5 will be Cedric Hunter and Jason Lowry, row 6 will be Jeff Price and Skylar Brown, row 7 will be Elijah Innes and Logan Jones, and row 8 will be Zishan Dwera and Nicholas Wing as we get ready to start dual race number 1 as they come out of turn 4, and we are almost ready to go racing. Pace car will make the left turn on towards pit road right there, and here we go. Brody Smith, the man in control of the field. Green flag in the air. Dual race number 1 is underway, and 25 laps of racing will start now as Nick Kessler going to try the outside line on Brody Smith as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time here, Frank.
Yep, we saw the outside line this past Friday night is the one that paid dividends. So you're going to want to be up there on that outside line when it comes down to the nitty-gritty. And you heard Brody talk about it, trying to get his brother Cody that race win to start him up in the 3rd position come next Monday night.
That too, as they are both 1 and 2, just ahead of Gene Cato, who's taken over 3rd spot. Nick Kessler has fallen back on that outside line, not really working out for him so far, as he's got Jason Pat right behind him. Right in front of him goes Cedric Hunter, as he's looking to lead the outside line. As they cross the line, Brody Smith will lead the first lap of the night.
Yep, he certainly will. And just to remark again, Brody Smith can finish stone dead last here in this race. It has absolutely no bearing on where he starts for Daytona, as long as his brother Cody finishes either in front or behind him. If Brody wins, it's going to be the Smiths on the inside line.
That it is, as we are still looking at the front pack here, as we've got a bit of a connection problem with someone in the mid pack. I don't really see who that was, but Brody Smith is going to come out of turn 4, and he will lead them down to lead them on another lap here. And Cody Smith's still right behind him. Cedric Hunter still leading the outside line as it's getting stronger and stronger, as I believe Aaron Tribble has now joined that outside line. Now, actually, that was the 53 of Jason Larrabee going up and then down again.
Yep, you're right. Tribble's on that outside line. He's the tail end of that outside line. Elijah Innes now moving up to the outside line. He's also got the 63 of Joe Gauthier behind him as well. As the 47 dumps in front, he takes the lead.
Yep, and that is Cedric Hunter, the Canadian, going to the front for the first time here tonight. That's going to leave Nick Kessler as the lead driver on the outside in that number 4. We've got 22 laps to go already in this race, and lap times will tick off very quickly, provided that there's no cautions in this one. And the way they're driving right now, it doesn't look likely that we're going to see one, but then again, I might have jinxed everybody.
Again, only 16 cars here. We see what these guys can do on Friday nights at the Super Speedway Series, so I'm not expecting too much carnage here. Now, there is something on the line in these races, but still, this is 16 cars. It's essentially just the lead pack for a Friday night race. I'm not expecting too much drama here as far as big crashes. Just take a peek at your phone.
Yeah. Yep. As we are 21 laps to go again, as you just keep on talking, I'm just sorting something out.
So as Cody Smith trying to lead that outside pack, has Nick Kessler, Jason Papp, and Aaron Tribble behind him. The 47 of Cedric Hunter leading that inside lane. Brody Smith, Gene Cato, and Mark Brown on the inside lane.
Okay, I'm done now.
All right. Okay.
As, yeah. Oh, we've got one in the wall. It looks like it's Elijah Innes in trouble.
Yes, it was.
Gets it gathered together again, but he's going to have some pretty significant damage on the right side of that number 68 as he's fallen behind. Looks like he's fallen behind Larrivee, Jason Larrivee, and Mark Brown. I can talk, I promise. As Mark Brown will be going to the inside there. Larrivee, though, he is on the move and he's trying to take over the other Brown, but the block that has someone in the way in the form of the 22 of Aaron Tribble. As that outside line, only 4 cars strong right now, not really strong enough to mount a challenge at the front there.
Yeah, but the inside line really isn't pushing much, and we've seen on the Friday nights how much the outside line can push and how well it can run when it's just got a couple of cars, but those cars are all pushing. So we can see an outmatched outside line be able to really run up against the guys on the inside line. So that outside line, just because it's outnumbered, doesn't mean it's dead.
Absolutely. As you keep talking, Frank, I'm having a couple of issues here.
Yep. We're still seeing Nick Kessler on the outside line. Now, again, all of these guys racing for where they will start on the inside line come next Monday night. Where these guys finish the race, obviously besides the 24, that will be where they start, in which row they start in for Daytona next week, as Pap is pushing the heck out of Nick Kessler in that number 4 on the outside lane. Jeff Price in the 39, and that is the 23 of Logan Jones that are hanging back a little bit here at the tail end of this pack. And now Kessler might be in a little bit of trouble as Pap has fallen off the back of him. Still running strong on that inside line. Cody, then Brody on that inside line, followed by Gene Cato and Cedric Hunter. Mark Brown down there as well. The 53 of Jason Larrabee has just moved up to the outside line. Aaron Tribble trying to work his way forward on the inside line, that number 22.
Yeah, and we didn't see that with Cody Smith jumping to the front there as he goes up high to defend from Nick Kessler. And doing it pretty successfully there as... well, I'm pretty sure Kessler's not going to take too kindly to that one, as they were literally rubbing bumpers when Cody went up there.
Yep, they certainly were, and probably not going to be too successful on that next time, as Skylar Brown is giving the 4 of Kessler quite a push. He's still clear, but Kessler's going to get a little bit of a run here going into the corner. Cody's still clear, though, out front.
That he is, as they come out of turn 2. 16 laps to go here, and we've only really had the one incident so far in this first duel with Elijah Innes hitting the outside wall, going through the trial wall. He seems to have recovered pretty well. He's got Aaron Tribble behind him now, as that is the 67 of Joe Gauthier underneath him in the Jegs Chevrolet. But here comes Nick Kessler again, another big attack on the outside. He almost had that one led across the line there.
Yep, just about, and that's that outside line. Again, we saw it on Friday night. We've seen it countless number of times in real life. That outside line going into the tri-oval is the line you want to be in. You really get a good run on that outside line going into the tri-oval to try to just barely beat the car on the inside line.
That you do, as you're seeing the 21.
Cody,
sorry.
Say we still have Cody leading this race, and it's a friendly sight to have a guy behind you that you know is not going to pass, and that is exactly what Cody Smith has. He knows Brody's going to do everything he can to try to keep his brother up there, to try to get him that third place start. So Brody really not looking, Cody, not looking behind as much as he's looking out that right side window.
No, it's not, as we've got a couple of cars starting to drop off here, and that would be Logan Jones and Jeff Price right there in the 23 and 39 respectively. They've just tailed off ever so slightly. We're down to 14 drivers. That is because Zayshan Dwera and Nicholas Swing, who did not qualify for this Duels race, did not take the green flag, so that is why we only have 14 cars here right now, as Tribble taking a very high line there coming through the tri-oval, and I'm noticing Skylar Brown right there looking very out of shape going through the tri-oval, almost losing it altogether right on the back of Kessler, as Tribble just glances the wall there coming through turn 1.
Yeah, he did, and he was driving that line as if he had a car blinked out on his inside line that hasn't come back yet. So I'm not sure why Tribble was up that high. We saw him try to take the position away from Cedric Hunter in the 47 going through the tri-oval, but he just maintained that line. And now here comes Logan Jones in the 23. Price also catching up to the back of this group here as we got, 12 to go.
Yeah, and that's probably why they were lagging back a bit. They were just trying to get one of those big runs.
The 53.
As Larry V goes below the yellow line and comes right up in front of, I believe that was Jeff Price. No, it wasn't. That was somebody.
Of the 67 of Gautier.
Yeah, it was the 67 of Gautier. Larry V, very scary moment there for the 53.
Yep, certainly did. It looked like either a bad bump or he clipped the apron in the tri-oval, and that can really send you, as Rowdy Smith had a big moment coming through 3 and 4.
That he did, and he managed to collect it pretty well, and that's the mark of a champion right there. If you feel like you're losing the car, you have to react quickly to try and save it again, and Rowdy Smith did that with absolute expertise, and like I said, that's the mark of a champion right there. Oh, as they come into contact with Nick Kessler, though, that's going to fan the flames a little bit.
Yeah, Kessler, they've been pinching down. They've been pinching down and further down and further down every single lap, trying to get that side draft. And I'm surprised. I'm not sure if Kessler saw how loose the 24 got. And boy, did he get a run. And Cody tried his best to block him off. Skylar Brown, that broke the 12 off the back of the 4 to help him out a little bit. But Kessler, not giving either one of the Smiths any room, goes right down to try to catch that side draft.
Yep, as we are 10 laps to go now in this first duel. And it's still Cody Smith leading this one. I remember this sets the grid for the race next week at Daytona. And Cody Smith getting a win here will get the outside front row.
Inside front.
Inside second row.
No, inside second row, yes.
So he'll be starting directly behind his brother. So that's going to be...
just the same.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, just the same as he did for this race. As Hunter goes down to the inside. Now only 3 cars on that outside lane, then peaks back up. I'm surprised that I'm sorry, go ahead.
Cedric Hunter, he was at the front for a short while, and then fell all the way to the very back, and then came back up again. I'm not really sure what his strategy is here, but maybe trying to save something. Wow, Skylar Brown really getting out of shape again, and I'm not sure if he's realizing what's going on or what.
That started with Cody. Cody tried to block off the 4 coming out of turn 2 and drove everybody up the racetrack.
Yeah, and Kessler's probably told Cody Smith, if you do that again, I'm not lifting this time.
Yeah, I could not imagine that those two are too chatty at the moment right now.
Yeah, it's 8 laps to go here. Well, it's effectively heat racing, isn't it? Let's just face it. So, the first duel is almost at an end here, as we've got one going high, and that's Aaron Tribble again, and glancing the wall again. You saw the sparks come off the wall. Now, he doesn't want to do that too often. That damage will accumulate as Larry V going right through the middle there, through the suck hole. He's going to go through between Brown and I believe that was Hunter on the outside, as well as he gets a big push there on. He gives a big push to Jason Papp right there through the middle. They're 3 wide for second place for a second. They were anyway.
Oh, there goes Skylar's in the wall. Tribbles around Hunter. That should be caution number 1. It is.
Wow, so that is your first caution of the night, and we're going to take a look and see exactly what happened here, what the cause of this was. And it was Skylar Brown just going to the very outside line, somehow got pushed into the wall, and it just created a whole chaotic moment there. And unfortunately, Logan Jones involved in that one, Cedric Hunter in it in a big way. And it all started, I think it was a bad push on Skylar Brown there.
I mean, that 21 was really close to the wall on entry. I don't think that the 47 had hit him. I mean, that was just, but this is kind of that part of the race. We've seen these guys just sit in line essentially throughout the entirety of this race. And that's kind of what Tribble was trying to do. was try to create that third lane to create some action. And unfortunately, this is a track where you have to be really precise if you want to run that third line.
That it is, as we come to the first caution, and it's going to be Cody Smith followed by Nick Kessler, Brody Smith in third, Jason Papp in fourth. An impressive run for him so far. Gene Cato in P5, Jason Larrivee in P6, who had that scary moment earlier. Mark Brown just seen his son fall by the wayside, but is still up there in the top 10 anyway. Aaron Tribble, who was on that outside line for the longest time, in P8. Logan Jones, who was involved in that wreck, is in P9. You can see the massive damage on the back of his car. This was in it. Jeff Price was not in it, I don't think, and you got Skylar Brown there. Cedric Hunter is there, and that is it, as Logan Jones has had an issue here. Nope, he just blinked out. So he's the one that's... Oh no, his engine blew. Oh wow.
Probably he took a pretty good hit in that 23, so I'm not surprised, unfortunately, that happened. Look how Elijah Innes came into his box. He went straight in.
Yeah. We're going to listen to it there on board with Logan Jones. There it goes. There goes the engine. And we're going to go with Elijah Innes on board with him.
These guys do not have a fast repair here tonight, unlike what they had 2 weeks ago at the iRacing Super Speedway. They did have a fast repair there.
There's Elijah Innes still in pit road. He's just making his way out right now. Cedric Hunter obviously was involved in that caution. He's in pit road. Skylar Brown still there. Logan Jones out of this race after blowing his engine. So no fast repairs in this, remember. So if you break it, you're done, basically.
And those guys will be starting at the back of the field when it comes to the official start to the season next week.
Yeah, as I'm having a few issues with my connection, so just bear with me. There is a bit of stuttering going on the broadcast. I'm trying to fix it the best way I can.
If you want, I could take over starting after this race.
No, I can handle it. It's fine. It's just my internet's on a bit of a madness right now, so it's showing the race for the best part. It's just stuttering every now and then.
So,
As,
double file here, ready to go green.
Yep, and it's your turn to bring us back to the green there, Frank.
Yes, it is. So to reset here, it's Cody Smith and Nick Kessler, 1 and 2. Brody Smith, Jason Papp, the pushing row in row 2. Then after that, it's Gene Cato and Jason Larrivee, Mark Brown and Jeff Price. Following him, then you get into cars with damage. The 22 of Aaron Tribble, Joe Gauthier, and the 67 Elijah Innes, Skylar Brown, as Tribble taking the bus stop, which we will be doing in a couple of weeks' time here. That's round 2 of this season.
Yep, and they're heading to the Daytona road course.
So Cody Smith and Nick Kessler on the front row, pretty much as they have been all race long. Field making its way through turns 3 and 4. Pace car is about to make the turn. These guys will have to last from that incident a couple of laps ago, trying to push up the middle with the man who won the season opening race for the Friday night series, Elijah Innes, there with him. White flag coming out here. Cody and Brody on the inside line. Gene Cato there as well. Jason Papp has finally been hung out to dry on that outside line. Mark Brown in the middle trying to make that last second push. Coming through turns 2. They've gotten to the door of Cody Smith. Can they get a nose in front down the other end of the track? Boy, Larrabee almost pushes Price. Right off the circuit.
There we go.
Still Kessler coming to the line. Cody bumps him into the wall.
Contact and Kessler in trouble. Be in trouble again. Sorry.
Everybody behind, and it's Cody and Brody, 1 and 2.
Wow, well, they finished the race, and I apologise if the broadcast stopped for a second there, trying to fix a few issues there. They do not seem to have been resolved, but we are trying our best to fix that. But great finish there to the race. Cody and Brody Smith getting a 1-2 at the end of that one, and very well deserved. They've been controlling things since the start of the since the drop of the green flag there, Frank.
Yeah, they certainly were, and that plan worked out, as Brody had said. Right at the beginning of the the race, tried to get Cody that win, and he did.
That he did. As we go to the second heat race of the night, as we are going to bring up the grid for that one, and starting up on the pole for race 2, if it'll show me, because why not have more problems in this anyway? Greg McConey will start up on the pole with Tony Bull in second on that front row. Zach Bowman will be, and Christian Vasquez will make up row 2. Row 3 will be Landon Lacey and Damon Goldsborough. Row 4 will be Mark McFadden and Ryan Broderick. Row 5 will be Justin Gapehart and Kyle Hilitsky. Row 6 will be Ryan Worley and Brandon Wilson. Row 7 will be Adrian Moore and Ben Bando, and Connor Trafari obviously not taking part in this race, so only 14 drivers again taking part in this race, and hopefully Ben Bando has fixed his pedal issues.
Yeah, one would certainly hope so, and I'm going to say right now, as the 06 is pulling off.
Yeah, that's Ryan Broderick.
Yeah, Broderick is just burned out those rear tires. He's coming back up through the field now.
Ben Bando, I'm sorry to cut you off there, Fran, but Ben Bando, those problems clearly have not been fixed because he is starting from pit road.
So that is certainly unfortunate. He's going to be looking for a very quick caution here in this race, but that outside line, there are 2 official teammates and 1 satellite car in the first 3 rows on the outside line. The 7 and 8 are teammates. The 86 is a satellite. That could be a very dangerous outside there, and the 05 is a satellite to that as well. So we saw a lot of teammates in the last race together. We're seeing the same thing here, teammates, and they certainly can help.
That they can, but Greg McConey driving for Dudes Motorsport. I think that's the same. That's the team that he's on.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Running by himself at the moment. His teammates Ryan Wall and Brandon Wilson all the way back in P11 and P12, so they're going to have to do some work to try and get up to Greg. But at the moment, they're so far away and he's surrounded by Gatorade cars. It's going to be difficult for him to maintain that lead as the pace car peels off. We're ready to go racing for the second time here tonight, and Greg McConey not wasting any time. Green flag in the air, and heat race number 2 is underway here, Frank.
Yep, and again, this one will set the order for the outside row at Daytona for next Monday night, except for McConey. McConey can finish anywhere. He will start in second. This is essentially a race for 4th. As you can see, Landon Lacey and Zach Bowerman right there with the 12. That's 86 pushing the daylights out of the 8. Damon Goldsborough holding back just a little bit, trying to pick up Ryan Broderick.
That he is, as they come flying in towards turns 3 and 4 for the first time tonight in this second race. And, well, McConey just holding his own up there. Zach Bowman right behind him. And it's going to be Greg McConey leading the first lap in this second race here at Daytona. And we are officially completely under the lights now. It's gone completely dark outside us. We're looking at Ben Bando right now. And Bando, all by himself, he did start from pit road and he's just got no company whatsoever.
No, and Ben Bando, another one of those names that you might recognize from the WOS CRL Throwback Series. And we know how competitive he can be, just unfortunately having to start from the pit lane here in this race. Another guy, it's one of the Dream Team Incorporated, they call themselves. Another one, so 5 Dream Team Incorporated cars, 3 official, 2 satellites in this race.
Yeah, so the Dream Team official incorporated are Ben Bando, Christian Vasquez, Damon Goldsborough, who's in this race, Justin Gapehart, who's also in this race, and you got Tony Ball as well, the 2 satellites obviously up there as well, as we're on board with Greg McConey as they come down the super stretch for this lap with 23 laps to go. Are we going to have the same chaos as we did last time around? We're going to be finding out very soon. Vasquez, I'll be very interested to see if he can maintain his qualifying performance, because he was very impressive and we've never seen him before up until tonight, but very interested to see if he can show his race pace as well as qualifying pace.
Yeah, I think if he's right where he wants to be right now, behind Tony and between Damon, and you got the two DTI cars, the 8 and the 7, and then the 2 satellites, the 86 and the 05, all right there on that outside line. Those guys are going to be committed to each other. And the last DTI car is the 2. If they can get a caution here, get all 5 of those working together, this could be less of a race of trying to win and more of a race of just trying to break those 5 cars up, as it looks like Ball is going to fall to the back of this pack.
Well, he's going to try anyway. The number 8 is he tried the outside line and he let Bowman and Vasquez ahead of him, and now Bowman on the outside line is going to try, and he's going to dice it out with the man he knows very well in the Super Speedway Series, and he's done this many times with Greg McConey already, so no stranger to this little battle at the front right now.
Yeah, no, certainly not. We've seen these guys duel for the race leads so many times on Friday nights, as now Bowerman's getting left in the middle, and that sucker hole is proving to be just that, a complete sucker hole, as Brandon Wilson is going to leave him enough room to get down. But man, those 5 cars just straight up left him.
Yeah, they did. And Landon Lacey still anchored to the bottom line. Right behind him is Mark McFadden, and kind of holding true to what you said about when he finished 3rd a couple of weeks ago, still showing that pace despite his tender age.
Yeah, he has certainly had some great runs in the Super Speedway Series these last couple of weeks. And McFadden, this is the first time, honestly, that I've seen him in one of these Cup cars, and he's been performing incredibly well. We've seen him, as you'd mentioned, at Sim Racer's Edge in the Indy cars. We've seen him somewhat in the trucks at Western States. He's had an incredible run of pace here in these Cup cars recently.
That he has, and we got 3 wide right behind him. Contact the 06 of Ryan Broderick.
It's Broderick.
Just getting into it there, I believe that was... I didn't quite see who that was, actually.
I think it might have been the 69.
Yeah, it was Helitsky he got into it with. And now Helitsky falling to the back.
Yep, and those DTI cars are left all alone on the outside line. Everybody else in the middle. And an incident like that, and now Herlitsky trying to work that outside. But an incident like that, just a close call, it can really settle a race down for the next couple of laps. And then after a little while, they'll start to peel it back up. They'll start to ratchet the intensity back up, but it doesn't look like that. There's not too much time here to kill in this race, so these guys are going to have to go.
Absolutely, as Greg McConey still controlling things at the front here. He's not giving up that inside line very easily. Here comes Vasquez on the outside. And he's going to get a big push now towards the front by Tony Ball. And Vasquez does have the clearance. He's going to come down right on the bumper of Greg McConey, and he will take over the lead here.
Yep, that's Christian Vasquez trying to get out front and stay there. He knows that's the fastest place, the best place for him. McConey's going to go right to the outside in front of Tony Ball. I had mentioned that Tony Ball had won a practice race with these guys last Monday night. It was McConey that pushed him to that win. So those two guys have a little bit of a camaraderie built up between the two in the 12 and the 8.
Yeah, McConey almost had the clear there, trying to get back to the front on that outside line, being pushed by Vasquez. He might actually have it again this time round. Vasquez might be a sitting duck here as McConey goes back to the lead once again. Ball don't want to be dragged into that sucker hole like Landon Lacey, not Landon Lacey, like Zach Bowman was, and thankfully manages to avoid it by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, no, with his two teammates behind him, he's more than fine, and he's actually going to take that lead and dump down in front of the 12. And going back to that practice race with McConey and Ball, that's something McConey is going to have to lean on. Does not have a teammate up at the front with him right now, so he really has to lean on that camaraderie and that knowledge with the 8 to try to stay up at the front. As now he's going to move up in front of Damon Goldsboro on the 7.
Yeah,
Boy, 3 wide, Lacey.
Well, yeah, and Lacey getting a bit out of shape there, and he had to back out of it. And thankfully stays in line. Now on the very far outside.
Oh, Adrian Moore.
Yeah, Adrian Moore in trouble. And he's going to get back on track, but he's going to be way behind the 8 ball now.
Yeah, it certainly is. I heard him say over the radio, say, "Hey, you weren't clear." So whoever was trying to come down into his lane was the fault for that.
I'm going to go back and take a look at it. Oh, it was actually Mark McFadden that got into it with him. So McFadden, the cause of that little incident there between himself and Adrian Moore, and Moore falling way behind now, and he's going to need a caution. Same for Ben Bando. As here comes Landon Lacey to the outside of Greg McConey now. And he's going to chance his arm of getting to the front, as right behind him is actually Carl Halitsky, who fell to the back a while back.
Yep, and it's not too bad to fall to the back in one of these races when you have so little drivers to have to contend with. It's the little time that you have to work with, as we're already about halfway through this race. That's the biggest concern here, is Damon Goldsboro falls to the back behind Zach Bowerman. So Goldsboro getting out of that hornet's nest as a couple of cars getting loose. Down there on the bottom, the 12 and the 8 as the 35 takes the lead.
Yep, Landon Lacey going to lead them down across the line, and he will lead his first lap of the night here at Daytona. And he's been threatening since the drop of the green flag to make his way up there, just not had the room to maneuver himself up there, but he's up there now. And that outside line's starting to falter a little bit here, Frank, and that's pretty much normal here for Daytona. The outside line can have the momentum sometimes, but on very regular occasions, like now, the outside line just falls away a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the problem with running the outside line. You need to be a little bit more aggressive on the outside line than you would be on the inside line, as Tony Ball tries to make a move, tries to pull that 69 up there with him. But you need to be a little bit more aggressive on that outside line, because it is a little bit longer around. You don't have a line necessarily. You have a moving line, which is a car under you. So it can get a little bit tense running that outside line. And if you can get the right guys in the right order on that line, it'll really work for you.
Yeah, it's really working for Landon Lacey right now, as we're seeing Zach Bowman starting to push his way forward again. He's right in the back of Tony Ball on the outside of Mark McFadden, who's also recovering from that incident he had with Adrian Moore. And right behind him is Ryan Worley. And wow, 3 wide for the lead now, as Tony Ball has had enough of pushing Landon Lacey. And
No,
this
that
is,
was Lace.
Oh,
Go ahead.
no, this is getting chaotic now, just like the first race.
Yeah, no, that was Lacey moved up off of that inside line, and Ball had the momentum. It was either wreck him or move to the outside line, and he moved out. As now to add to the confusion here, the 2 of Ben Bando is about to get lapped.
Yeah, and that's the first time we're going to see that here tonight. Ben Bando will be the first driver of the night to be lapped here at Daytona. And you don't normally see that happen in a Duels situation, as there goes Bando, 1 lap down now. McConey is going to be neck and neck down towards the line, though. He's going to have him by a bumper. Give that one to Greg McConey.
And we were talking about the DTI cars being lined up on the outside line earlier in this race. Lined up on the inside line now are the Dudes Motorsports cars. They have Mark McFadden in between them, but the 12, the 501, and the 00 lined up on that inside line.
Yeah, and McFadden doing ever so well. He's right up there in 3rd place. Lacey just holding on by a bumper ahead of, actually by a half a car length ahead of McFadden right now, who's pushing the living daylights out of Greg McConey. You got Zach Bowman up there. You got Kyle Halitsky up there. You have Worley and Wilson up there. You also have Ryan Broderick up there. So that top 8, that is where it's at right now. Tony Ball, meanwhile, has fallen, and Christian Vasquez, both fallen back to the latter end of the top 10.
Yeah, but now all of those DTI and satellite cars are together, so watch for those guys to really start making a move up towards the front as Goldsboro bails out and goes to the inside line. Might be trying to get in the right order here. They do have to figure it out rather quick. We only have 8 laps to go.
Yeah, they do. As they come down towards the line, Goldsboro getting a bit out of shape there, coming out of turn 4. We're on board with him right now. And a bit of a connection issue there for the number 7. As we go on board with Landon Lacey, who is back in the lead of this race. But not by much. He does not have that advantageous inside
Goldsboro
line.
in the wall.
And it was Goldsboro in the wall. Few sparks coming off, and he's had to back out of it. Look at Ben Bando just sticking with these guys as well. No damage on his car, so kind of understandable.
Yeah, Ben had started in pit lane with those brake issues that we had noted after qualifying, looking for that quick caution. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to get it. He unfortunately has got to look for something to happen in front of these guys and try not to be a part of it, because that number 2 Hulu car, if you remember back to the Throwback series, he and Tony Ball pretty much ran roughshod in that series. Not going to happen here, though, as Ball actually gets in the wall in 1 and 2.
That he does. And he's struggling to keep it off the wall as well as he comes out of turn 2. 7 laps to go here in the second duel race. And like Frank said at the start of the race, this will decide the outside line from the second row back. Greg McConey already confirmed as a front row starter, so it won't matter too much to him if he wins the race or loses the race. Mark McFadden, meanwhile, tooth and nail with Landon Lacey. Lacey's going to go for a late push with Bowman right behind him, and McConey going to lead another lap here.
Certainly is. That outside line, though, it's been a complete flip reversal from the first duel to the second duel. The inside line was the dominant line, always had more cars in it. Here it's the outside line as Ben Bando trying to make a push on that outside line, trying to start it. Ryan Broderick also trying to make that outside line work, that extreme high lane.
Yeah, we just seen a problem for Broderick there. He might have got into the wall.
Oh, the 69, there they go!
Big wreck at the back. And it's Ryan Worley involved, Kyle Halitsky involved, caution is out again, Zach Bowman involved, it looks like Damon Goldsboro involved too. And for the second time tonight, we see a caution in the duel race.
Yeah, and in the last 5 laps, right as everyone starts getting racy, doesn't look like the 7's too bad off. The 2 looks rather clean as well. And the 2 was right in the thick of it as they came up across the outside line. And this is exactly what Bando needed. He has some time now to try to go for the win in this race. He did take a big shunt, though, as we saw in the replay from the 9 of Bowerman, though.
Yeah, he did, as we are back live again, and you can see the massive front end damage on Ryan Worley. Zach Bowman unfortunately blew the engine. He's had to tow it back to pit road, so his night is done as far as the Duels are concerned. And this will have saved one Mr. Adrian Moore. That is the caution he was looking for, and Ben Bando will be back on the lead lap as well soon.
Yep, he certainly will be, and it was funny because he had said over the radio during that race, during this run here, that he said, you know what, I don't think starting 30th sounds too bad at the moment. And unfortunately, he's kind of gotten forced to start there, as pretty much the entire back half of the field from the top 5 back all hit pit road.
I don't think he realizes he's got a lucky dog because he's come straight to pit road. So that's unfortunate for Ben Bando. I'm pretty sure once his pit stop is done, he will get the lucky dog, but yeah.
He should.
Yeah. Unless lucky dogs are off.
And that might be a thing for this. Because typically he would be pitting next time by. He would not be pitting with the leaders here.
No, he wouldn't. But with the shortened cautions, the pit road is open to lap down cars as well. So we'll be interested to see if he does get that wave around. We'll find out in a few seconds' time. But at the moment, McConey, McFadden, Lacey, Wilson, Broderick, those guys have all stayed out. They have not brought it down pit road. Everybody else from Tony Ball backwards has been down pit road. This could make things interesting.
It certainly could here, and for the most part, it's going to be the restart. The 12 and the 71 are going to be the two leading cars. The 35 and the 501 are going to be in the pushing rows here on this restart. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly guys like Tony Ball and Justin Gapehart, who came out right behind Tony, how quickly those guys can spring free from these guys that little less grip on the tires.
So very much a shortened field now. We've lost 4 drivers after that incident. Actually, Worley is back out on track. No, he's not. As Halitsky, look at the damage on that 69. Wow.
Yeah.
That is massive damage.
A couple of hard hits, yeah.
And Bando has stayed in pit road, so I'm not really sure what's going on with the number 2, but he seems determined to stay at the back when it comes to the main race next week.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a strategy you might see. I mean, oh my goodness, learn words. The Firecracker 400 event that was put on, I think, by Garrett Smithley last year, I had spotted for Tony Ball in that race, and that was his strategy, was to stay in the back. So I wouldn't be surprised if those guys do try to stay in the back.
Lights are off in the pace car again. We are ready to go for a green-white checkered situation here at Daytona for the second dual race. Greg McConey has control of the field. Mark McFadden will be restarting in second place, with Lacey in third and Brandon Wilson in fourth. And we have Ryan Broderick in that P5 position. But look at the guys behind him. Tony Ball, Justin Gapehart, Adrian Moore, Christian Vasquez, Damon Goldsboro, sorry. All have been down pit road. Possibly to not take fuel but take fresh tyres. As Frank, you're in charge of bringing us back to the green here.
Yes, I am. Field coming off. Again, it's going to be McConey and McFadden in the leading row. Lacey and Wilson in the pushing row, row 2. Green flag is back in the air. We're going to have the same amount of laps to try to get it done here at Daytona. We're in a green-white checkered.
Yeah, as I just want to apologise for the quality we had in the first dual race. We don't have the same bad quality in the second race, so we've had a pretty smooth run this time around, and Greg McConey going to lead them out of turn 2 here as McFadden holding up that outside line there. Very bad restart there by the number 71, still holding on to third place, however, as McConey going to lead them down towards turn 3 as we go in search of the white flag.
And Lacey giving one heck of a push there on that bottom line. It's allowing Ryan Broderick and Justin Gabehart to move up just a little bit on that inside line. Again, though, more cars on the outside than there are on the inside as we hit the final lap.
Now white flag out in the air, and here comes Mark McFadden again. Big run on the outside, being pushed by Brandon Wilson. This is the final lap of the second heat race, and this is going to be just as exciting as the first one, as Adrian Moore going to make a bid for the middle at the back of the field, but our focus is at the front. McConey looking for a big morale booster to start things off here in the Cup Series as they make their way towards turn 3. McFadden, is he going to go for a late push here as Brandon Wilson getting that line? Tony Ball trying to push his way through and around the outside. It's not going to be it's going to be a bit too late here as McConey goes up to defend from Mark McFadden. There's contact in the back, and there it is. There goes Landon Lacey. McConey wins the second duel across the line.
Wow, a lot cleaner, and McConey pulled the same block that Cody Smith pulled at the end of the first one. That time didn't end in a bunch of wrecked race cars, though.
No, it didn't.
What a finish.
Yeah, and that was a lot cleaner. The only victim of that one was Landon Lacey. Went right across the grass just before the line, and that put him down to P6 at the end of that one. So he will be 6th on back on the outside lane. So we go to the clash race now. But first, let's go through the results of each heat race here, Frank, and let's pick this one apart before we move on. Let's go to the first heat race here. Cody Smith and Brody Smith bringing home first and second in that one. Nick Kessler in third. Fourth to Jason Larrivee, and Elijah Ennis getting top 5 despite all the troubles he's been through in that one. Jeff Price in P6. 7th was Jason Papp. 8th was Mark Brown. 9th was Gene Cato. 10th was Joe Gauthier. 11th was Aaron Tribble. Skylar Brown comes home in P12. 13th going to Cedric Hunter, 14th to Logan Jones, 15th and 16th to Zishan Dwera and Nicholas Swing, who did not take the green. Let's go to heat race 2, and this is your result for those ones. Greg McConey bringing home the win in that one. Mark McFadden scored in second place right there, and that was a good result for him. He will be starting on the third row. Actually, no, he'll be starting on the outside of the second row, if I remember rightly. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, McFadden would be starting 4th at this point.
Yeah, so Brandon Wilson will be was scored in 3rd. Tony Ball in 4th, despite all his efforts to try and make his way forward. Ryan Broderick running out of top 5. Landon Lacey, a late slide through the grass, put him down in P6. Adrian Moore in 7th. Justin Gabehart in P8. 9th will be going to Christian Vasquez. And Damon Goldborough running out of top 10 in that one. Carl Halitsky, Ben Bando, Zach Bowman, and Ryan Worley all retiring out of the race late on, and Colin Trafari not taking the green. But great racing so far here tonight, and we've still got the clash to come here, Frank.
Yeah, we certainly do. We're going to have a little bit of a 5-minute break here before we do it. I think that might be a good time for us to take a break as well, kind of decompress from these races. But we got about 3 minutes left in this 5-minute break here. Then we're going to go to a 40-lap clash. That is just for fun. This is for bragging rights only, this clash.
Yeah, and with that, we'll be back in just a few seconds. So do not go anywhere while we reset things and get ready for this clash race. This is ESPN. We're live with the iRacing E-Series. We'll be back in just a minute or two. And we are back live here on ESPN. We are at Daytona. The duels are done. And now we're going to be racing for bragging rights here at Daytona as we get ready to go with the clash. But first, let's get a word from our sponsors here. And Frank, we've got a few words here from our channel sponsors, first and foremost.
Yep, we certainly do. Tonight's broadcast of the Rowdy Energy Cup Series is sponsored by diecastnuts.com. Post your own diecast collections, add or trade to it in the shop, and see other members' collections at diecastnuts.com and on Facebook at diecastnuts. That's nuts with a Z. And by Rocket Racing Setups. Rocket Racing Setups is one of the leading setup builders for the iRacing community. Find dirt and asphalt setups, tuning guides, fuel sheets, and much more at iRacing Setup. Rocket Racing Setups, my goodness. RocketRacingSetups.com today. Tonight is also brought to you by the series sponsor, the leading sponsor for the series, Rowdy Energy, CircleBDiecast.com, Midwest Motor Customs, iRacing, iFlag, and Butt Kicker.
So as things stand right now, it looks like only 12 drivers are taking part in this clash race. So not really sure what's going on there.
Yeah, this is just a race for bragging rights. As mentioned, there are a couple of guys who may not be all that entertained with the way their dual race had gone, so maybe trying to maybe just wanted to take a break from it.
Yeah, so I was going to put the grid up, but there's not really any point because it's going to be a bit of a mess. So as we get ready to go here for this clash race, it's 40 laps around here. And let's see who can gain bragging rights. This is not for points. This is not for anything important. This is just a little bit of a sprint race just to have a bit of fun and cap things off with a bit of fun and laughter and well, just basically see if you can beat the person next to you. And obviously the two drivers at the front were the two drivers that won their respective dual races. That's Cody Smith on the inside. Greg McConey on the outside is to come out of turn 4 right now. We're ready to go racing. We do have 12 drivers and 12 drivers only in this one, but it won't dampen our spirits one little bit as the pace car about to peel off in towards pit road. There he goes. And Cody Smith going to have control of the field as we come down. Green flag in the air. The clash is underway. There's only 12 drivers though.
Yep, certainly is. I mean, we've had plenty of fun with 12 drivers that these guys come on. This is essentially a race. This is essentially a pack after a pit stop. So we know how these guys work. As once again, Cody and Brody kicking right out to the front. And again, these guys starting in order from where they finished in their particular heat. So the finishing order of the first heat starting on the inside, finishing order from the second heat starting on the outside, and already Larrivee in that 53 right up to the outside.
Yeah, Larrivee not wasting any time, is he?
No, he certainly is not.
As Cody and Brody still leading this thing. We see Elijah Innes on that inside line as well. He had a pretty difficult first dual race, but seems to be running strong so far in this clash race. As McConey falling back almost outside the top 5 here, as that is Ryan Broderick to his inside as they come down the super stretch for the second time here in this clash race.
Yeah, and I think Broderick just moved up to that outside lane between McConey and McFadden. It was him that moved up to the outside line. Again, this is a race where these guys are going to be a little bit wild, a little bit crazy. Nothing on the line here, no points, nothing riding on Monday the way it was in the two dual races. So might see a little bit more craziness and a little bit more action. And with 12 drivers here, might actually add to it. There's not too much risk in falling back too far.
As if we didn't see enough craziness already within this league. I mean, we see it every Friday night. We've seen it already tonight. So we'll take a third line there. As there goes Larrivee on the outside. He's going to try and get a push to the front in the cruise. Number 53, though, getting almost banging doors with Cody Smith, though, coming through 3 and 4.
Yep, almost did. And we saw Cody make a couple of aggressive blocks in that first race, not being quite as aggressive in this one, still trying to break Laravy's momentum on the outside line, trying to move up, get that side draft, pull that 53 backwards a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to ride on board with Jason Laravie as they come out of turn 2, and he's trying to get that run. And you see the side drafting trying to happen here, and that's why he's almost banging doors with the 42. That's it. That's what's known as side draft right there, and you can get that in abundance if you get close enough to the car next to you without hitting it.
Yeah, we saw that. I think it was in the first race of the Friday night season. We saw how powerful that side draft can be, as Scott Warren almost got himself to the lead from about 7th or 8th in line by himself on that outside line, just trying to drag himself up by using that side draft, and it really worked. Yep, 3 wide for the race lead.
Yeah, well, that's typical of Scott Warren. He's always doing that when he's in the race, and there it is. That's the first big wreck, and everyone's involved. Everyone's in it. Oh, this is going to be.
They're wrecking. It's
Yeah.
the 53 of Jason Laravie.
Yeah. Big wreck. Everybody's wrecking. That's the big one. That's the first big one of the night.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Almost everybody involved. Cody Smith.
Yep.
Elijah Innes got a big piece of that one. Greg McConey got a piece of it.
I mean, the 48 just moved up the track and trying to get the side draft just doored the 53, and then the 53 got loose because of that and came right down and hit him.
Yeah, as Brody Smith finds himself out on his own in the lead right there. There is Adrian Moore, Landon Lacey as well. He got caught up in that as well. You see the damage on the side of that 35. Moore with some front end damage. Brandon Wilson. I think every single car apart from Gautier and Smith have got damage on their cars.
Yeah, and again, we've moved it over. We're no fast repairs again here. So early on, this race might have taken an unfortunate downturn just by guys trying to side draft and be a little too aggressive here on lap 6 of a 40-lap event.
Yeah, and it started with Laravie using that side draft on Cody Smith.
No, I think it was the other way around.
Oh, Cody Smith trying to use the side draft on Laravie.
Yeah, if you get an overhead shot of that, it looks like the 42 is trying to move up to try to take the air off the 53, and he certainly took more air off than he was intending.
Yeah, we're going to get a blimp cam of it, if I can.
That whole middle lane sort of fades upwards.
Yeah, it's still like Laravie came down though.
It was the initial. It was the initial move of the 42 up, and then because of that contact, that's what sent the 53 down.
So a whole host of drivers in pit road right now. Brody Smith just coming out right there. Jason Papp, who was a late entrant into this race, started from pit road actually, in 2nd place now. Justin Gapehart in 3rd. Adrian Moore in 4th. Greg McConey repairing damage in 5th. McFadden doing the same. Brandon Wilson just making his exit now. Laravie is having extensive repairs as well. Mark McFadden's going to be the next one out of pit road as well. Innes in pit road, Broderick in pit road, Lacey in pit road, Gautier in pit road, and Cody Smith is done, it seems. The drivers that didn't start... Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was just say I think the only 3 drivers that made it with absolutely no damage are the 24, the 1, and the 05. I think those are the only guys that are clear. The 09 looks rather clean.
He's got a smashed up right front.
Landon Lacey doesn't look too bad. So, I mean, you still got a couple of guys that are clear here. Lacey does have a little bit of left side damage.
Yeah. And that is Joe Gautier in front of him. I thought Gautier got clear of that, but it doesn't look like he did because he was in pit road for quite a large amount of time. But as the lights go out on the pace car, we're only going to have. Well, we're still going to have 11 drivers in it. Elijah Innes and Cody Smith are out. As Brody Smith going to have the lead back to the green. So he may have gifted his brother a win in the first dual race, but I don't think he's going to gift anybody a win in this one.
Now, as of right now, there are cars that are trying to work their way around, but we've only got 6 guys that are up here.
The other 5 are on the way.
And ready to go.
Yeah, the other 5 are on the way.
So... I mean, and if you've been watching the Friday night series, you certainly know that damaged cars can work pretty well up here. I mean, was it Zach Bowerman almost won the race with no front end the entire night? So you can have a good solid run here with some damaged race cars.
That you can, and I think Elijah Innes proved that in the first duel. He got that damage from hitting the wall, and he was still keeping up there with the rest of the guys. Frank, bring us back to green.
So pace car is coming off of the racing surface. Brody Smith will lead them down just the same way he will next Monday. Green flag is in the air. Jason Paptu is outside. Justin Gabehart giving him one heck of a push.
Yeah, as the rest of the field finally rejoins, almost cold trickle to field. They come through turn 2, and almost immediately Jason Papp losing a spot there to Gabehart. As they come out of turn 2 down the back stretch here, you see Mark McFadden at the bottom of the track there trying to link up to the back of Brody Smith there as the outside line. Just OP coming in towards turn 3, and Gabehart and Pat will power their way to the lead.
Yeah, that was an incredible run by that outside, led by Justin Gabehart. Got free on that outside line, and now Pap is going to try to take the momentum from Brody Smith. Pap getting loose, and a big save from Pap. He'll lead this lap. No pun intended.
You're a poet and you didn't know it. Anyway, they come towards turn 1. And Jason Pat will lead them down out of turn 2 towards the super stretch. Look at Adrian Moore. You saying this about damaged cars keeping up with everybody else. He's got an incredibly damaged car, and look where he is.
Yeah, he certainly is. And the big thing about Zach Bowerman, though, was he had people behind him pushing him that were able to keep him up there. Gabehart swings up to the outside line, trying to make that outside line work. See if that 9 and 501 are good enough to be able to push him, or if those guys are going to be able, or relying on the back of the line to try to keep them up as Gabehart gets spun around. That's 71 up and over.
Big wreck there for McFadden. He was up on his roof, and it looks like that might be night done for the 71. Let's go back and look at that one. And if you're feeling a bit squeamish, that was a big hit. A big hit for the 71.
Told you, night was going to get crazy.
Yeah. And unfortunately, if you've just eaten your dinner, then it's going to get a bit worse for you. We're going on board with Mark McFadden. Oh!
Yeah, that's not a fun ride to take.
Let's make it even better for you. Let's go on the gyrocam.
Yeah, he had no idea that was coming either. He's driving along, and then all of a sudden, he's upside down.
Oh, God. Oh, dear.
As you do. Oh, yep. There.
Yeah, you're looking at the stream as well, aren't you? And you just want...
Yeah, that's a great shot.
I don't mean to laugh at his misfortune, but...
It provided one heck of a show.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, that to me, it just looked like the 05 had gotten out of line and then tried to get back in, and unfortunately the 09 was there.
So some major damage on the 05 now. On the front and the back. The Dos Equis, Equis? Dos Equis? I don't know.
Dos Equis.
It's Spanish? Mexican?
Yes, it is Mexican.
Okay.
Mexican beer.
Okay, never heard of it.
Mexican beer not named Corona or Tecate.
The only Latin beer I know is Sol. That's a good beer. Anyway, nothing about alcohol. Brody Smith and the rest, a few other guys going to bring it down pit road now.
Yep. Pap leading the charge, so all of the lead lap drivers are in. By the way, 70% fuel fill here for this race and 2 sets of tires for this race. So right around now, we're closing in. We've passed a quarter distance gone here. Should be close to getting to the end from here. Highly doubtful, but they could be close.
Just a fuel stop there for Jason Papp as he comes straight back out. It's on the same tyres. Everybody else taking tyres and fuel.
Certainly, and Ernie Ludwig helping his teammate at Jawbone Motorsports out. Flip of the night goes to Mark McFadden.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, that was flipping awesome.
There it is.
Yeah, I went there.
So I think only 2 drivers decided to stay out. It'd be Landon Lacey and Ryan Broderick will be 1 and 2 here on this restart.
Yeah, so Landon Lacey was involved in that first wreck. Now finds himself in the lead. Broderick in second, Pap in third. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Pap can react to this one because he only took fuel in that last stop. Everybody else that pitted behind him took tyres. But tyres aren't really that big of a factor around here, are they, Frank?
No, I mean, it helps on the restart phase of a run. But other than that, it's really not that big of an issue around here. If you run too long on a set of tires, you do run the risk of the back end starting to step out. And we saw that at the end of last season, the Super Speedway season, that the back end would step out the later and later you got into a run. But my biggest concern would be, I think we only have 2 cars on track right now, the 1 and the 24, the only 2 cars without any damage.
Yeah, and Brody Smith almost got that damage, though. That wreck happened right behind him. Very lucky boy. I will say that now.
Certainly was.
As lights are off on the pace car, we are ready to go racing once again. A very depleted field for this class race, obviously. Apparently, according to Brody Smith, a lot of torn up cars after those heat races, so that's why we got such a depleted field.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of torn up cars in this one, as I said. Only
a lot of torn up
24 in the, yeah, I think only the 24 and the 1 are the only 2. The 06 might be clear. But other than that, everyone has some sort of battle scar from tonight.
Yeah, Pap and Smith, the only ones that have completely clear cars, but we only have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cars left in the field now out of the 13 that started. And I think Jason Pap started from pit road as well. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he got what Ben Bando didn't get, which was that early quick caution that was able to get him up and around. He was able to avoid that big wreck and got that quick caution as pace car ducks off. Lacey getting pushed by Pap now. Brody Smith pushing Ryan Broderick. We are back to green flag racing.
That we are, and Landon Lacey going to lead them down towards turn 1. But look at Pap already pushing on the back of the 35. Look at Brody Smith. Look at Brandon Wilson making a lane for himself on the high side there. And challenging to the back of Brody Smith. Not going to work this time around as Smith pushing the living daylights out of Ryan Broderick right now.
Yeah, Broderick really accepting that push, trying to get up to the front. The question is how much damage is on that car. and how badly is it affecting that 06? That 24 is really pushing the heck out of him, not really making too much headway moving forward.
Not at all, as there goes Lacey. Might actually lose this one. He almost did. As they come across the line, Lacey going to lead that one by a nose.
Yep, just barely. And this is not... Yes, it stinks to have a damaged race car. And yes, it stinks to not really be in the running for the win. But this is also a race you can use as a practice session. This is how my car handles in a race situation with X amount of damage. Let me see how well I can get on with this. Can I push? Can I be pushed? Can I lead a line? Can I stay aggressive? So even if your car is damaged at the back of this field, like someone like a Larrivee in the 53, you can still learn quite a bit from running these last 24 laps.
Absolutely, as Lacey will lead another lap here at Daytona in this clash race, as Pap just trying to I'm thinking he's searching for a gap there. If he can get a little bit ahead of Broderick, he will move his way up to that high line and try and maybe get pushed towards that lead. He thought about it right there coming off the out of turn 2.
Yeah, coming out of 2, he had it, and then once they got onto the flat of the back straightaway, he lost it. But now he's certainly going to get it as Brody Smith moves to the inside line.
That he does, and Brody Smith going to come down, and there he goes, Pap up to the high side. Adrian Moore right up there as well. One man that's keeping up with these guys, he's actually starting to tail back now, is Jason Larrivee. No front end on that car. He was keeping up with him for a short while, but now he's at the back of that thing. I expect him to kind of peel off now because actually no, he's actually catching up to the back of Joe Gaultier right there.
See, and that's what I was saying earlier about Zach Bowerman being able to run up at the front of the field and be somewhat competitive with a back with no front bumper on the car. As Brody Smith getting a nice little shot from the 09 of Adrian Moore. That's the learning curve. I can run up here with this much damage now. Can I stay at the back? Can I push? Can I be pushed? Can I lead a line? This is all stuff that Larrivee can figure out right now.
And Larrivee just anchored onto the back of Greg McConey right now. McConey's still carrying damage from that first wreck that he was involved in. And now Brody Smith still pushing his luck on the outside of Pap, and these two are probably going to be battling out for the remainder of this race. Those two were the cleanest cars out of everybody that's still running. More on the back of Smith, Lacey on the back of Pap. Now, we've seen Brody Smith win races, we've seen him win championships, but we've never ever seen Jason Pap win a race on ESPN cameras before.
Yeah, no, unfortunately we have not, so this would be a very nice night. The question is, how many capable damaged cars can these two get behind them and push enough? I would think Pap has a little bit more of the preferred line, being down on that inside line, but still that outside line. If you want to move up, especially in the trial, and you can see it here coming off a 2, moving up, that outside line is where you want to be.
That is, there's only 2 cars up there right now, Adrian Moore and Brody Smith. Not much help there as the 3 mostly damaged cars are starting to fall away now. That'll be McConey, Larrivee and Gaultier. Only 6 cars that are not so much damaged able to keep up with the leaders at the front.
And again, you can see Moore just not able to push Brody by himself as the back trio starting to move around a little bit. McConey, Larrivee, and Gaultier starting to move around a little bit in the back there. But this front group still running strong. You have to assume the 501 is going to stay on the bottom. The wild cards really are the 35 and the 06 because that 09 appears pretty stuck on the back of that 24.
There he is. And he's not going anywhere anytime soon. The only problem is he hasn't got enough help as Broderick finally, well, he doesn't really know what he's doing right now, so we'll leave him to it. As Pap leads another lap here. 19 laps to go in this clash race, and Lacey, despite that damage on the left-hand side of his car, still showing potentially race-winning pace.
Yeah, he's still rolling nice up there. He's got the 501 pushing him, which is probably helping him a little bit. The question is, you want to talk about the real wild card in this group, and that is the 06. Is Broderick laying back, or is that what his car can do right there? And now that he doesn't have anyone pushing, he's really just clinging to life on the back of that group. Or can he still suck up and try to make a move forward?
Well, he is playing two halves against the middle right now. He's like deciding whether he wants to go on the inside or on the outside, trying to pick up as much draft as he can. I think his damage on his car is a lot more than it looks. It might be more internal than external. That's probably why he's not making them big pushes towards the front. He's going to the inside then the outside, trying to pick up which draft, what draft is the best for him, so he can stay with that lead pack. At the moment, the outside line doesn't seem to have it. He's very much anchored to the back of the draft of that 5-1 of Brandon Wilson.
Yeah, he certainly does appear to be in that spot. I'm going to try to get inside of that 06.
Oh, we'll join you. As we're riding on board with Ryan Broderick.
What we're listening for is any change in the RPM, if he's holding it down or if he's trying to gas it up a little bit. It sounds like he's full throttle. I think he's in a spot where the reason why he's switching lanes is because that outside lane is getting a little bit closer to him and is allowing him to stay up in that front group.
As they're coming up on the lap traffic, I believe that is Elijah Ennis they're coming up on. And I think it is. And Ennis's car sounds terrible right now, I will be honest.
Yep, it is Elijah Ennis.
Sounds like he's stuck in second gear or something, because it's like sounding like a whole...
I think he might be trying to blow that thing up. If you look at his tack, he's at 9,700 RPM. He might be trying to blow that thing up.
Yeah, trying to put the poor thing out of its misery. As we go back to the lead pack right now, Jason Papp leading another lap with 15 laps to go. As finally, Brodie Smith finally getting that momentum he needs on that outside line, it seems.
Yep, and that 09 has been right there with him the whole way. And the one difference that's been made up here in the bottom three is that the 501 has started to fall off the back of this group. So that could play key. If that 501 can't stay up there anymore, that could give advantage outside line. It
could, and that would be very disappointing to Brandon Wilson's teammate, as Ashley Wilson is starting to reel these guys back in again. The only one that isn't reeling these guys in now is Ryan Broderick. He is completely fallen away and almost in danger of losing that draft.
Yeah, he has, and unfortunately, Joe Gauthier, Greg McConey, and Jason Larrabee, those guys have fallen off as well. Currently 11 and a half seconds off of this front group, and it wasn't but 3 or 4 laps ago we were talking about them being up at the front here.
Yeah, and that's the difference you can see there between damaged cars and clean cars. There goes Brodie Smith and blown engine.
Adrian Moore blew up.
Yeah, he's blown up, and that is what's going to happen if you stay behind the car too long that's in front of you. If you do not move out of that space for air, that is what happens. The engine will get too hot and it will blow up, unfortunately.
And that's his second blown motor of the night. If you remember, he blew one up in the first duel race as well. So Moore has not finished either race tonight.
No, he's not, as we're going to find out exactly what happened to Adrian Moore here. There it is. That's the blow up. And we're going to go back a little bit, and we're going to go to the exact point where the engine blew up. And it couldn't have been perfect timing. It was more perfect timing, because as soon as Brodie Smith got released in front of Pap, That was it. That's when the engine blew.
Yep, and now Pap actually getting pushed back around to the race lead. None of the other 4 drivers in that group sticking with the 24. Ryan Broderick has found his way up because of that, and all 4 of them left the 24 out to dry.
Yeah, so he had his moment up in front, but then as soon as Adrian Moore fell away, he just got absolutely eaten alive. And now Jason Papp leading proceedings with 12 laps to go. We're going to be coming to 11 laps to go at the line, and only 5 cars left in the running to win this class race. And I think any one of these 5 could actually take it, you know.
It certainly can. I mean, that looked to be, as I had mentioned about 6 or 7 laps ago, there could be a little bit of sandbagging going on for that 06. Not showing everything that he has, and when he needed to, was able to push right back up to these front 3 and make that move. So that 06 might have a little bit more than what he's showing.
That aero wash really playing havoc with the back of Jason Papp's car. I can see the anti poles like on a magnet.
Yes.
Where you stick the wrong side of a magnet together and it just pushes it away. That's kind of the effect that Pap and Lacey's car are having right now. Lacey trying to, I don't know, probably take the air away from Pap a bit, trying to leave him, force him into a mistake there.
And Lacey's not right up on the back end of that one either. So he's close to him, but he's not right up on the back end.
That's what I mean by the polar opposite thing. It's like,
yeah, just keeping that little bit of a buffer zone between those 2, and that's not enough to avoid what happened to Adrian Moore, by the way. Especially with Moore having that front end damage, you have to be a little bit more careful as far as how long you push the driver the driver ahead of you. So that could be Lacey just watching his temps right now as well.
yeah, and he's going to have to watch them because he's been behind Pap for quite a number of laps now. So he needs to be careful with that if he wants to get to the end of the race without having blown his engine. 9 laps to go though, and it's all to play for as it looks like Broderick and Smith are starting to fall away slightly now. But that counts for nothing. They are still in the draft, and as we've already seen Broderick do, they can and will catch up again if they need to.
And that's looking at Broderick. I think that's more because of Broderick and not necessarily Smith, as Broderick moves to the outside line. And you could just see how quickly Brody, makes that move right back up to the inside. So yeah, that is the 06 pushing the 24 back a little bit.
Gautier in pit road right now. I wonder if they've got a pit stop left in this as well, you know, because they've only got 70% fuel. Do they have a pit stop before this is over, do you reckon?
Yeah, that's what I was saying as they were making that pit stop under the last caution was, do you have enough? That's really close on fuel. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a splash and go that's required here.
Yeah, if not for not for Lacey, well, if not,
here they come.
Yeah, there we go. Brandon Wilson actually going to stay out for another lap.
Boy, Pap really slow in pit road. He's going to go from the lead to 4th just on pit entry.
Oh,
and just going around.
And Broderick just got into the side of Smith there. And, oh wow, that is not going to please Smith or Pap right there.
Well, I mean, that fills the quota. Every car is damaged now, but that looked like Broderick just trying to move up into the fast lane, that wide lane, and just clip the 24, and the 24 is in serious trouble now because he stayed in the box a heck of a lot longer than the 3 drivers he pit with. Brody Smith is all alone right now.
Yeah, it's just going from bad to worse for the 24. As Brandon Wilson stays out again. And he will lead another lap here with 6 laps to go. He's going to try and make it to the end. I think during that last pit stop during the caution, he took a full boat of fuel and tyres as well. So I'm wondering if the 501 here is going to try and make it to the end.
I'd be interested to see how big of a lead he has, because I'm showing 6.5, and I know for a fact it's not 6.5 seconds. 30.2. So, that's close. If he can make it, he should be able to win this race fairly comfortably. It's the fact that he doesn't have anyone to save fuel with around him in that 501.
Yeah, he's coming through 1 and 2 again after staying out yet another lap. Now he's 30 seconds ahead of Landon Lacey, who we know is already pit. And look at these cars all together. Lacey and Pap and Broderick just making easy work of Larry V and McConey. As you'd expect, with the lack of damage on all three of those cars. Actually, Pap does have that right front damage after the contact between Smith and Broderick.
And Broderick
right
Brody,
on the back of Pap again.
Yeah, and Brody's another 6 seconds behind these guys and falling as well. So the 24 is well and truly out of it.
Yeah. So 4 laps to go. Can Brandon Wilson make it to the end of this clash race? We'll find out before this is all said and done. But this 3 here, Jason Papp, Ryan Broderick, Landon Lacey, these guys are the ones chasing him down right now. And the gap is down to 26 seconds now. So they've taken 4 seconds out of him in that last lap.
He's coming in. He's coming in now. Or no, he's not. He's running on the flat part of the track, trying to keep fuel in the right rear of that car. The fuel pickup in these cup cars are on the right rear corner. So it really hurts, and you can see him weaving. I thought he was weaving down the back straightaway. He is weaving, trying to keep fuel in the right rear corner of that car.
Yeah, and all the while it's scrubbing time off now. 24 seconds between himself and Jason Papp. And he's on the apron now. Still on the apron.
Trying to keep that car as flat as possible, trying to keep as much fuel as he can in that right rear of the car. Well, you can tell it's American-made. Left turns, high banks. Let's put the fuel pickup in the right rear. Yeah, that's smart.
The Brandon Wilson still bleeding off time here with 2 laps to go. Can he make it? 21 seconds ahead of this man, Jason Papp, who still has Ryan Broderick and Landon Lacey right behind him. Now, these 3, by all rights, should catch Brandon Wilson pretty easily. Problem is, they might have left it a bit too late now, as it looks like Brandon Wilson coming up towards turn 3. Let's see if he does go to take the white flag, or if he has given it up and will bring it to pit road. And we'll find out just now.
I can tell you for a fact that Wilson is not full throttle. I was riding on board with Jason Papp. His RPMs... Oh, he's sputtering! He's out!
Oh,
he's sputtering!
And Brandon Wilson is out of fuel. And he's left it too long and too late. And now this is going to be the race between these 3 for the win here at the Clash at Daytona. Brandon Wilson tried in desperation to make it to the end. Unfortunately, one lap too soon. And now here we go. White flag in the air. Jason Papp, Ryan Broderick, Landon Lacey. These 3 are going to try and make it now and see who's going to win. There's Brandon Wilson just coasting on the backstretch here as Broderick trying everything he can to get to the back of Pap, and Pap putting a gap between himself and Broderick as they come out of turn 4. Lacey is going to try and make the move on the outside. Pap got to defend the 2 halves against the middle. Pap is going to cross the line and win the clash. Broderick will get second, and Lacey will claim 3rd place in this clash race. So Jason Pap getting a win here. What? How? Who would have thought?
How many times do you hear racing drivers say, man, if I only had one more lap, if I had one more lap? And Wilson right now still in 3 and 4. I think he's the only guy that will say, man, I wish if we had one less lap, because he ran out right at the line.
Yeah, and you see him right there still coasting around, and Pap's just gone around him a second time.
Man, that's a killer.
McConey, he's going to be looking to take that 5th place away from Brendan Wilson, and he will, unfortunately.
Larravee's going to pass him as well for position.
Yeah.
Boy, this is going to be a good battle here between Larravee and McConey. Just, oh my gosh!
So McConey just killed his teammate.
Boy, I didn't see that coming. My goodness, he hit him hard.
That he did.
Holy Moses.
And obviously, I know it's not an official win for Jason Pap, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be an emotional one.
Are we going to... Before we get to that, and yes, I know exactly what you're going to say, Wilson is so close to the start line.
Is he going to make it?
I don't know. Landon Lacey stopped right in front of him. He's going to have to go up the hill. This might kill him. Oh, come on.
Is Brandon Wilson going to make it to the line? This is very close now.
Oh, no.
He's wiggling the car, trying to make it.
No, Jason, don't ruin it. No, Jason, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Don't do it. No, no, no.
Yeah, he made it. Brandon Wilson crosses the line for 6th place.
He was going to make it regardless, but man, if Jason wouldn't have given him that push, kind of killed the excitement there.
But going back to Jason Pap, in all seriousness, this might not have been an official win for him, but very much an emotional one, as obviously he's had a few. He's going through a bit of an emotional time with certain family members not being very well.
Yeah, so this is. Yeah, so this one's got to be. This is a big one for that number 1 right there.
Yeah, absolutely. The Rowdy Energy number 1 claiming victory here at Daytona in the clash, and I think it's only fitting that we do get a word in with the man that's claimed the race win here in this last race of the night, and we're going to go and find him now if I can, and he's just going to chill out there on the infield, I think. So let's go and find him. And Frank, I believe you got Jason Pap with you right now.
I do, Jason. Your first victory on ESPN screens. What a night for you. Not the greatest of runs in the duel race, but certainly picked it up and made up for it here in the clash.
Yeah, I made a bad move in the duels, and it sent me to the back. But we did pretty good here. I'm happy to finally win something on the broadcast here.
Yeah, and I'm sure after the week you've had, this is certainly this is very rewarding and fitting for you here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my family's going through a tough time right now with my dad and stuff, and but you know, it's cool. I do this to get away from that stuff, and you know, we got our league sponsor on the car, and we won. So
yeah, certainly. Before we let you go and celebrate this win, which I'm sure will mean more to you than to others, what last minute hype do you want to give for this league? We have Daytona next week, the official start to the season. We're already a month into the into the newly minted Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series off week this week. What do you want to say about this series to get us all more excited than we already are?
Tell you what, we we lost some drivers after last season, but we picked up a lot of good drivers, and I think one good thing for the league is last season we had one or two guys that were up front. Uh, I think it's going to be a lot more exciting this year, with a whole new mix of guys and not just two guys dominating everybody. So I think everybody's looking forward to that, and we're going to have some cool prizes to give out, thanks to Rowdy Energy, and I'll have more details on that when I get them on Wednesday. And it's just cool. We're gonna do we're doing the tire sets, so that's gonna mix things up a little bit, and yeah, we'll go from there.
All right, your race winner here for the Clash. It's not a points race, but it's one hell of a way to start the season. Jason Papp, congratulations.
Thank you. I got to say hi to Peeds.
Oh, of course.
All my teammates for sticking with me, and everybody in the league. I'm just I come here to have fun and get away from life, and hopefully we're providing that for everybody. We have a blast on Mondays and Fridays. And also thank you to our other sponsors, Circle B Diecast, and iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, and Midwest Motor Customs.
I swear I've conducted these interviews before. I completely blanked on that. Your Clash winner, Jason Papp. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, guys.
So that was Jason Papp, and he's still doing burnouts on the track right now, and you can hear the emotion in his voice there, Frank. He is one very relieved man to have won here tonight.
Yeah, and this was a really long night for these guys as well. I mean, for us as well. I mean, these races usually go a good 2 hours. We've had a couple of full-length races that we've done, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that go 3.5.
Oh,
this was... Yep, there it goes. He was I mean, this is the longest race, and a lot of it due to the fact that we did the individual qualifying here at the beginning, which is such a treat. I love doing individual qualifying. But yeah, a lot he's worn out emotionally and mentally too.
Absolutely, and with that, let's go through the results for tonight's Clash race as we get ready to get out of here for this one here tonight. So bringing home the victory in the Clash was Jason Papp. Coming home in second place was Ryan Broderick after a controversial pit lane incident that involved himself and Brody Smith. Landon Lacey in third, Brody Smith in fourth in the end after that pit lane incident, then put him all the way back there. Greg McConey, who literally drove through his teammate at the line at the end there, comes home in P5, and Brandon Wilson, who had the slowest run to the line ever, comes home in P6. We did show him our support though, so fair play to him. Joe Gautier,
yes, we certainly did.
Joe Gautier coming home in P7, 8th gone to Jason Larrabee, 9th to Adrian Moore, who blew his engine 13 laps from the end. Elijah Innes in P10, Justin Gapehart in P11, Mark McFadden makes up P12, and Cody Smith 13th and last in the Clash race here tonight. That is going to do it for us here on ESPN. Let's give you the rundown of what's coming up in the next few days. Do not forget, tomorrow night you'll find me in the booth for Western States Racing League as they head to North Wilkesboro, where it all started for the partnership between ESPN and Western States. So make sure you tune in for that one. Sim Racers Edge will be back on Wednesday with the second round at Kentucky of the Alpha Series, USRA and DOB on Thursday from Nashville and Lernerville respectively. Well, it's been a fantastic night here from Daytona with the Duels races. Congratulations going out to Brody Smith for getting pole position next week for Daytona. But for now, that is going to do it for us here in the ESPN View. From myself, Sam Cooper Bennett, from my broadcast partner, Mr. Frank Marchese, all that's left for me to say is keep it clean, keep it green, and we will catch you tomorrow night live from North Wilkesboro with Western States. Have a good night.